stand so close to me. I hate to offend, but it's a reaction to what you tried. I felt the energy first time I'm amused. Next time you're fading, Lord. It's time to change, so have the rules of deceit. Pay no mind to the weaker below. The ones obsessed with third reality while refusing to learn what you should already know. Arrogance is taking down so many, but surely you have it under control. Tell me again how your leaders will fix it. We don't need faith or there is no soul. Some know it all and want to tell you too, so we all could see how cool
I guess it all started with, strangely enough, levitation. I had myself put the guitar down for a few years, not completely, but very rarely would pick it up. And then all of a sudden, about 30, 31, you pick it up and start getting back into it, and you start tuning down and getting into lower tunings, and it just feels different. It's got a kind of a bite to it, and you don't know why, and you start wondering why. So you start researching, and you find out the true power of music. It can lift stones, 1,000-pound stones, lift up in the air, with, I believe it's called acoustic levitation, but it can be done by people out, I've seen it done, not personally, but seen it on video done with just people pretty much screaming at a rock, and it moves. And it's, of course, you get the rolled eyes when you tell people that, but it's scientific. They would rather roll their eyes than actually think for themselves, which is okay. But it's going to cost them right now, because this is a very different time to kind of be like that. It's funny how the path, where it led from there, because never would have thought it kind of would start the ball rolling for seeing the light, so to speak. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized, what frequency is, what it was, what it does, and how everything around us is frequency, and it's all the same except for one, the alpha, called the God frequency, and it absolutely destroys all the others. It's it's very hard to deal with seeing things everywhere you look, and it's like no one else sees them, and maybe it's because the sun gazing, that I do almost daily, maybe bi-daily. They tell you don't look up, don't look directly into the sun, it'll burn your eyes out. But our ancestors, they say they worship the sun, and they say, well, that's that's whatever stupid, that's, they were Neanderthals, but they knew more spiritually than we ever would know now. You draw energy from it. I do it every day, and you just see things differently, and stuff like, this. I see a lot of this just normally, and I have to put these filters on to draw it out for other people to actually see it. But I see it just walking around every day, and that's hard to deal with. And, it's very frustrating when you tell somebody, say, in the past year, there's been planes or something, spraying every day, sunset, sunrise. You never see the sunset or sunrise. There's a big wall of something covering it up. And you tell people this, and they say, "Oh, yeah, there's planes covering the sky." Sure, there is, but they won't look because people are just in general scared to actually look in the mirror. Nobody really wants to know the truth. They just want to keep trotting along in the same patterns that they have for their whole lives maybe, and people are just scared to look in the mirror, and I'm not anymore, and that's what freaks a lot of people out. So the only thing they can do is get crazy. All you lose lost pretty much every friend. Not every friend, in a way, yeah, every friend. The truth will cost you a lot.
And, once you start down this little rabbit hole, you just can't believe where it ends up, and just don't believe it ever stops. It just keeps, you learn more and more, and then all of a sudden more and more stuff makes sense, and you realize that what they did, secret societies, I guess, the Masons, all that good stuff, you think, well, what are they protecting? We know everything. No, we don't know anything. It's that's changing though. Red is pretty much the color of not darkness, but it represents it in a lot of ways. If you look at a component cable, you pretty much have red, green, and blue, and that's pretty much all you need to make anything color-wise. And 1/3 of it red is what I would consider evil. Definitely, when I can follow cars, and when I call it forcing the light out. It doesn't do like any of the others. It raises, they raise straight up, and then all of a sudden they bend like an S and it starts dancing. They all do that. If you think about take the color red for instance. We got stop signs are red. We got red lights. We got tail lights that are red. And to me, they don't look like lights anymore. Of course, they orb out, but red is a completely different thing because it resonates pretty much in the evil.
Everybody, always wants to ask, what's the truth? What's the truth? Like, it's black and white, like everything else. Like, you have to have a definitive answer, and this is truth and this is false. But it's just not the case, man. I mean, you have to think. You have to think for yourself. There's a little bit of truth everywhere. You got to look around. There's no right religion. There's no God is not who he is represented to be in all the movies and everything else. It's who they want you to think he is. It's not the old man with the white beard. It's the father of us all who wants us only to think for ourselves and do the right thing. I've never really read the Bible. I didn't need it because it's in all of us to know exactly what's right and what's wrong. And if you need a manual for that, obviously you're not doing something right. It was more, I believe, for hard times, reassurance, because it's hard to deal with some things, especially with this, because current society makes it look like you're just insane for thinking that way. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why would you do that? Truth is everywhere. The monks, they know how to speak to God. It's all about frequency. Everything is about frequency, and it's like they took the truth, they broke it apart, they sold it to different parts of the world, and that way they would never be put back together, or wasn't supposed to be put back together. I mean, look around, and then read Revelations, and tell me we're not living in the end. Tell me we're not there. Nobody wants to admit it, but it's the case, man. And it's you deal with it, or don't, and suffer the consequences. I'm just trying to let people know the truth, and it's hard, a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Questions flow inside. try, I felt the energy. First time I'll muse, next time you fade in blood. As times have changed, so have the rules of deceit. Pay no mind to the weaker below. The ones obsessed with their reality while refusing to learn what you should already know. Arrogance has taken down so many, but surely you had it under control. Tell me again how your leaders will fix it. You don't need faith where there is no soul. Some know it all and want to tell you too, so we all can see how cool they are. And how you don't know anything. We progress, I was told by a TV star. Don't you watch the news, my friend? That's not right. I was told by a, what's his name? Bobby denied the ultimate truth. Searching it all to numb the pain. The evil has no cover for me. It is now being purged, exposed to all who see. They are flailing while trying to look sane, but they are losing ground repeatedly. While the days and nights seem cut by a third, the unheard of things happening every day. But some refuse to abandon the herd, make excuse, laugh at all such a personal thing. It hurts to see anyone suffering, but it is not up to me. But some will cut their throats for attention and then stand up and point at me. But I don't care, it's an instant deflate. I never even saw it come my way. And I would advise those cowardly scream to shut the fuck up unless you have something to say. Some know it all and want to tell you too, so we all can see how cool they are. And how you don't know anything. We progress, I was told by a TV star. Don't you watch the news, my friend? That's not right. I was told by a, what's his name? While they deny the ultimate truth. Switching it off to numb the pain. Switching it off, numb the pain. Switching it off, numb the pain. Switching it off, numb the pain. Numb the pain, numb the pain. So please get the fuck out of here. And don't forget your